Welcome. Well, we should be live here on YouTube. And welcome to you from all over the globe, wherever you're from. You might be in North America. I think it's morning time for you guys. Or it could be evening if you're here in Australia or anywhere around the world you are joining. Welcome. Perhaps you can let me know in the chat where you are joining from. And I want to hear from some of you where you are joining from around the globe. We're living in interesting times, and I've got some powerful information I want to share with you today. But before I get into all of that, I want to hear from you. I want to hear where you are joining me from. Perhaps you're watching the live, perhaps you are watching the replay. It doesn't matter, you can always put it in the chat where you're joining me from if you are watching the replay. But if you are joining live, let me know as well where you're from. You may have caught the title of this message today, which is a message from Jesus. I haven't shared a lot in the past, and hello Amanda that's joined, I see you there in the chat. I haven't shared a lot about Jesus. Some of you may not have known I grew up a conservative Christian and I had a faith. And as I became more spiritually evolved over the years, so did my faith evolve. And my understanding of Christ or Christ consciousness and what it truly means, what the real message of Christ was, has also evolved. It evolved from a dogmatic, fear-based, institutionalized form of religion to a much more heart-based guiding and leading of how to live one's life. And that, I believe, is the true essence of the Christ consciousness, is that Jesus showed the way. He showed that we find ourselves in. And the message I'm going to share today is very relevant to the times we're going through right now. You've noticed, I'm sure most of you, that we live in a pretty chaotic world. A lot is going on. A lot is changing, a lot is evolving. On the surface, it can look quite daunting, perhaps even scary. But beneath the surface is this wonderful new emergence of what I call Christ consciousness. Now, many of us in the spiritual community know this as a time of awakening, time of ascension. How do we tie together the ancient wisdom traditions and teachings of Christ and have them apply to the time we're in right now? Because they're very applicable. The true words, the true essence of the message is more relevant now than ever before. I had an experience in meditation only days ago where information was coming through, very important information was coming through me like a channel. Now I have been doing this for a long time, but not so much specifically a message from who you would know as Jesus or the Christ. More so from my angels, my guides, my spirit team that I like to call them. I generally get information from not only my higher self or higher consciousness, but my guides, my angels. And of course, many of you know I run Dolores Cannon past life regression group workshops. Maybe some of you have attended those. And an aspect of that is to work with angels, guides, to get information and messages. And then more specifically, one-on-one past life regression, we get information through the higher self. And the higher self accesses what we define as the universal mind or universal consciousness, where all information is. You might want to think of it as like a data center. And you as an individual are like a device that is able to access that data through what you would know as a network. And that network has the ability to broadcast, and you have the ability to download any information that is available. Dolores Cannon called it the source of all knowledge. Now, specifically, if we choose to, we can tune into particular frequencies. It's like a radio station. Radios are emitting many different frequencies. And depending on what you're tuned into, what station you're tuned into, that's the message you're going to get. Now, back to my experience the other day when I was in deep meditation and I was doing some channeling work. I received a broadcast by Jesus. Now, of course, many will be skeptical and questioning, and rightly so, because I think there is a lot of information out there that is inaccurate, including some of the research I have done and books I've done. Even interesting, I found out, even some of the books that I have read, that I validate some of the information. It was revealed to me that not everything in that is authentic. That some of the information has been, let's stay polluted by the conscious mind. And I'm specifically referring to meditation, hypnosis rather. Because sometimes the conscious mind can get in the way and we can lose the authenticity of the information. So that was interesting. That was a wake-up call for me. But specifically in this live stream today, I wanted to share with you a message that came through to me that I got. Now, do with it what you like. You can test the validity by how it resonates with you. And if it doesn't resonate with you, of course you can move on and not watch the rest of this video or continue to watch live. It will resonate with some and it will resonate not with others, and that's okay. We all have different perspectives, different ideas, different beliefs. But for those that need to hear it and want to hear it, I want to share it with you. And so I'm going to read to you word for word of what came through to me. And this is what came through from Jesus. You are not alone. You have never been alone. Even in your darkest moments, even in your doubt, even in your fear, I am with you. My love does not waver. It does not change based on your actions, on your past, on your mistakes. It is eternal, unshaken and ever present. The world is in turmoil, and many feel lost. But I say to you, do not fear. This time of great change is not your undoing, it is your awakening. The systems of the world may shake, but your foundation is not in them. Let go of the distractions that pull you away from love. Let go of the voices that tell you that you are not enough. You are already enough. You are worthy, you are whole, and you are mine. I am calling you back to your heart, not to religion, not to rules, not to the voices of shame, but to love. A love that sees you, knows you, and never turns away. A love that does not require you to be perfect, but simply to be willing. Be willing to receive my love. Be willing to trust me. Be willing to let go of the heavy burdens you were never meant to carry. Now is the time to stand in the light. Now is the time to walk in truth. Now is the time to love not just with words, but with actions. Love yourself as I have loved you. Love your neighbor even when they do not understand you. Love the stranger, the outcast, the forgotten. For I am in them, just as I am in you. There is no separation. There is no us and them. There is only one creation, one love, and one truth. You are mine, and I am yours. Come back to me, not in fear, but in love. And when you do, you will find that I was never far. Now that's going to resonate with some of you it will not. But I found it interesting, particularly in this time of polarity, of separation, of us versus them, of the political landscape, not just in North America, but we're witnessing a similar phenomenon occurring in Greater Britain. Some of you are joining from Greater Britain, the UK, across Europe, here in Australia. This real pronounced polarity between us and them. I think this serves as a reminder, and I had a dream about this nights ago as well, is that we are all one, but we're playing out individual parts and roles. Almost like Shakespeare described. We come on to the stage, we play out our part, whether we're the villain or the victor, whether we have a background role or a leading part. And then we discard the costume and we return backstage. Perhaps we might go out and watch the rest of the production, or we'll hang out in the wings for a while. Dolores Cannon said something similar in her work, is that we're wearing costumes, playing out this role right now. This is the part of the performance where it really gets interesting. Perhaps you might call it the climax. We're going through a season now of the great revealing. For 2,500 years, we've been in an energy vibration of the age of Pisces, which was marked by domination, control, hierarchical domination and control, where very few people in the shadows often, or out of the shadows, were calling all of the shots and dictating to the masses, which was disempowered. Now, all of that age started in 2012. We came into a new age, and who knows what that age is? Maybe you can guess. Many of you know. But it's the age of Aquarius. So what you're witnessing, what you've been witnessing, slowly but surely, but now is coming to a crescendo moment, is a dismantling, a doing away with an old system, and we're stepping into a brand new system. Do not be afraid. Love is the way, not to react, not to fear, not to be polarized, but to remember who you are. Remember that you're here for a reason and a purpose. Many of you will identify with being light workers, volunteers, starseeds. Whatever label we like to give it, it doesn't really matter. It means the same thing. We're here to help the earth shift out of a darker age into a much more enlightened one. An age where justice prevails over evil. Who's been noticing that? I want to hear from you in the comments. Who's been noticing the shifts politically? Who's been noticing the shifts in your personal lives? Perhaps you've noticed people are moving out of your life, either consciously or they're just sort of fading away, and then you almost realize, hey, I've drifted from that person, because what is happening is there is a separation or a split that is occurring where energies are just no longer compatible with each other. This is intensifying, and it's playing out right now on the political stage. Not only is it happening in North America, that tends to lead the way, but it's also happening all around the globe at the same time. There's no reason to fear. Change can be scary. Change can be unpredictable. We like, as human beings, we tend to like what is normal and predictable. But the invitation you have now is to step out of your comfort zone and not necessarily try to search for answers, but to remember. To remember what you already know. To remember who you are beyond the illusion of form, and to remember that the energy that animates your physical, or the person behind the mask, the person within the costume, is divinity itself. Experiencing on this plane of reality what we call duality. Separation. Illusion and delusion. But many of us are waking up to this reality, and we're realizing that we're in a dream, we're in an illusion, we're in a simulation. And we've all chosen to be here. And we all have a part to play. Whether that part is the villain role. There's a TV show in the UK and North America called The Traders. And people have different roles that they play out. Some are called faithful and others are traders. They're roles that they're playing on that TV show. And people have got to kind of guess and navigate this. I think it's a good example, who's familiar with that show, of what life is like. It mirrors life. So there are many examples. The fact that we have movies, the fact that we have stories, to remind us really that we're only really here to grow and to expand as souls. So when we release from the level of duality, when we release the level of the layer of the illusion, and it's interesting that we're in the year of the snake on the Chinese zodiac calendar, where this snake is shedding a skin, is shedding the old, and it's emerging from within the skin into the new. Now this is very symbolic of what we are going through. We are shedding the old age of Pisces. This time has been predicted astrologically. It's been spoken about in many ancient wisdom traditions. Many have defined it as the age of Aquarius, the golden age. Wisdom traditions from Zoroastrianism to even the New Testament, the book of Revelations. John on the island of Patmos spoke about this specific time. Some would be left with the old earth. I believe that is more a symbolic understanding. Some will take that very literally, but it speaks of people getting left behind. Really, my understanding is it's metaphoric that some are choosing to stay with the old consciousness. What we're seeing within humanity is a rising consciousness. As you wake up, you're expanding, you're remembering. You're moving out from underneath the veil of illusion, and you're remembering or waking up within the illusion and remembering who you are. Who's seen the movie The Matrix? It's a perfect example of this. It's to wake up in the Matrix and realize that it isn't real. And in the movie The Matrix, great movie if you haven't seen it, they're able to manipulate the laws of physics within the Matrix because they understand that it is an illusion and it's not real. And so from that form of consciousness you can manipulate. Isn't this the very thing that Jesus did? And I validated this information. A lot of what we've been taught with the life of Christ is actually accurate. Not everything is accurate because things have been misinterpreted, translated incorrectly over centuries, or even used as a form of manipulation and control. Now the message of Jesus, the message of Christ, was one of empowerment, not of suffering. We've celebrated suffering, but really that is just a distraction from the real true meaning, that we are divine, that we are sons of, I don't tend to like the word God because I think it has many misconceptions, a lot of dogma attached. I tend to adopt the word divine. I think it's a much more inclusive word. Someone says gender, it transcends gender, identity, religion, and it is the intrinsic force that is pervasive through not just this world, but through the entire cosmos. It animates the earth. It animates the plant kingdom. It animates the animal kingdom. And it animates humanity. This is what a perfect way of articulating what we know as reincarnation. I spoke to someone yesterday who said they were an atheist. And I said to that individual, I said, do you believe in energy as Einstein defined it? And he agreed and said yes. I said, you remember that Einstein said that that everything is energy. It cannot be created nor destroyed. Only it can change form. And that is what we do when we leave. We just change form. We discard this physical vehicle that we occupy, like a vehicle, a car, or a cup that is holding my tea is just the cup that is temporarily holding the tea inside of it. It's really the tea that is the substance, is the energy. And that is you. We so identify with the physical. This is why, when someone criticizes you, or even when you criticize yourself, you're getting caught in the trap, you're getting caught in the illusion. Because the physical is just the vehicle. The physical is just the outer casing. And yet we identify with it. We think this is it and this is who we are. We criticize, we berate, we put down. Or we judge another and we forget what's inside. Because we're caught in illusion, we're caught in judgment and polarity. So let this be an invitation to you to remember who you are. Not the physical you. The essence, the eternal, the divinity that animates your physical form. I'm going to be getting more of these channeled messages because I'm going to be asking for more information. If you resonate with this, I want to hear your feedback. If that spoke to your heart, let me know in the comments. Maybe give this a thumbs up, a like. And if you like this information, please subscribe to this channel, because certainly if it's resonating with people, I will share more with you. Much love. And remember, you are loved and you are never alone.